Hello YouTube. Today we're meeting with a local Spokane financial professional to talk about savings. Now, I've spoken with a lot of you about your personal concepts of financial security. I found that some of those investments usually come with a lot of layers. I can spend years becoming financially proficient, which I'm doing, or I could liaise with a local financial professional that specializes in financial success. Without further ado, let me give you over to Dacia.
Finance is my passion. I started 5 years ago, only by a phone call. It was my sister said, hey, I found something and you need to do this. I didn't know what this was until the company called me 2 days later, and it absolutely changed my life. And now my mission is, from families from all walks of life, how can I change your life? So that's what is my passion. So 5 years in, and I'm ready to help wherever I can help.
So now you took this knowledge that you were given, you partnered with a company, and you talked with everyone about how to save money.
One of the biggest things that I tell families, you have to pay yourself first. Start there. Many of us, we pay our bills, we spend, and then whatever's left over, then we save. I say, pay yourself first, then pay your bills, and then whatever's left over, you spend. With my company, I sit down, and it is so much easier just to sit down and say, let's have a 20 or 30-minute conversation. I want to know, what are your goals and dreams? What do you want to accomplish? On my business card, it says, give your money a goal. We absolutely need to give our money a goal. The financial needs allowances help me to see where we are, where we need to be, and then we go from there. That is emergency fund. Do you have an emergency fund? What age do you want to retire? Where do you want to retire? Because those two are two different dynamics. And we just say, let's just strategize and get you where you want to be.
So if I was going to save for the future, putting my money in a savings account, I've heard some people say that that's a really good thing to do, is put money in a savings account. What do you think about it?
The first question that comes to mind, and I'm going to ask you, and then if you can answer it, okay, savings account is great for you. What is the rate of return you're getting on your savings account? And reason why I ask that question, we all know how to work very hard for our money, but few of us know how to make our money work hard for us. So that interest that your savings account is giving you, one, is it outplacing inflation? So right now, inflation is about 3%. And if it continues to go up to, the next 15 years, we're looking at 45%. Is the money that you're earning in your savings account going to outpace the inflation that the economy is looking at?
So savings accounts don't really beat the rate of inflation, do they?
Most savings account, whether it's a major bank or credit union, only give you, if it's checking, 0.125. If it's a savings account, and it depends on the saving institute, you may get 6% on the first 500, and then it drops it back down to less than 1%. So most savings accounts are not keeping up with inflation.
So what about stocks and bonds then? Is that a good investment?
When we bring a vehicle to me, the first thing I want to know is, what's your market risk? If you're in a market where you really don't care, hey, if I can throw $10,000 into this account, and if it lose 50% of that, I'm okay with that. Okay, so that's telling me that you have a market rate, very aggressive. You don't care. You have the time to invest to come back. If you're 65 and you're investing in the market and you're about to retire the next day, are you comfortable losing 50% of whatever investment that you have in the market? So when I'm asking that question, I just need to know, are you aggressive? Are you moderate? Or are you conservative? That's going to let me know whether the stock market or stocks and bonds that will be good for you, and then how to get you to invest correctly.
This baby's really distracting. It's very hard to interview somebody while entertaining a baby. I do apologize.
No, I believe in family. That's why we do what we do. If we don't have family, then why? I mean, it doesn't matter whether we save or whether we invest. It's for our families. That's what we're doing it for.
Absolutely.
So as entrepreneurs, our family should also be involved in our business. It shouldn't be my family over here, my business over here, and then I have to decide who I'm going to spend time with. No, let's bring it together and let's get the family involved also.
It's all of why I'm doing this YouTube channel. And it's all of why I want to prove that it's possible, both personally and professionally. I had so many people tell me that, oh, I wish I spent more time with my family. Incredibly successful business folks, but I can't do that. But it seems like that these investment platforms are all dependent on the person. Some work out better for others. So it's incredibly important for someone to sit down with a professional to analyze these. Everyone's heard about 401ks. Can you give us any information on 401ks?
Your 401k is not an investment plan. Your 401k is an investment vehicle that can supplement your retirement. Here's a thought on that. One, they're asking employees to know how to operate in the stock market. Many employees, they have the 401k, but they have no idea what's happening to their retirement. Especially when the stock market is going up and down, they don't understand how their accounts are being credited. I have to go back and I have to ask, where are you comfortable? And again, what is your market risk as far as your 401k? Because that's exactly where your account is. It is tied up in the stock market, and what the stock market is doing, that's exactly what your 401k is doing. So the stock market tank, the same time that you're ready to retire, you're going to have to rethink that.
I had a friend of mine that just happened to. They couldn't get their money out of the stocks fast enough, and that's their retirement income. So now their retirement income is reduced by nearly half. I have a family member who retired and became educated in the stock markets, and they ended up losing everything. Had to go back to work.
So we don't take in consideration the market risk. And with the 401k, they don't take in consideration what tax bracket they're going to be in when they retire. Example, you have $1 million in your 401k. You're in a tax bracket of 40%. You now owe Uncle Sam $400,000. That reduces your 401k to $600,000. So that's the tax bracket. So let's talk about the market risk. Now you have $600,000, and if the market decides that it's going to tank 50%. Now your 401k has just been reduced to $300,000. Are you comfortable and retired with $300,000 in your 401k? If you're used to living off of $60,000 annual income,
that's not enough.
And
it's just not enough. And
it's
then
not.
And the Social Security comes along, and it's just not enough either.
It's not.
So that is almost a dangerous place to store your money. So I've heard some people say this too, especially out where I live in the middle of nowhere, who are like, those financial, technical investment platforms are too complicated, they're untrustworthy, I'm just going to invest in land. I'm just going to put my money into land, and that's a safe investment. I have my own personal opinions about it as a property owner. What can you say about it?
It depends on the market. We're all familiar with 2007, 2008, and 2009. That's when the housing market absolutely, they say, tanked. And a lot of people was not able to do anything with the real estate. And I think the real estate, yes, you possess it, but you still have to keep up with the taxes on it. If the housing market is down and you're needing to liquidate your property, and if you can't get the same value from your property that you have on paper, then you lost that. You can't regain that when the house market is down. So those are just risks along with the stock market and everything else that we have to take in consideration.
Me as a property owner, I've only been a property owner for 2 years now. I have 10 acres and a beautiful chunk of undeveloped, is it inter-rural or inter-dispersed lands? I can't remember. But it's not low-density residential. It's several steps below low-density residential. And even in 2 years, I've seen the property taxes go up. So development happens and your property taxes go up. If your land isn't an asset, meaning it's producing you money, then it becomes a liability.
It does. It does. And I'm going to throw out farmers in there. My family were generational farmers. And so, and that's something that a lot of farmers face is I have my land, I work my land, but if I can't pay the taxes on it, then I am at state of losing that. And mostly when you're talking about generational farmers, what can you pass on to your family if you're not able to even pay the property tax on that? And that's a huge risk that a lot of us farmers, take.
With these methods of savings and storing away for our family and our future that we've discussed, sort of that exist in common thinking, what are some other investment platforms that are more beneficial to the individual that may not be so commonly known about?
So I tell you, when I'm talking to a family or individual, a business, there's 3 options or 3 ways that your money can grow. It can grow in a fixed environment where you're talking about your saving, which is a 1%, and it goes 1%, and then it just rides out that 1%. Or it can go in a variable environment, and so definitely we're talking about the stock market where we got that up and down, up and down. I call it a financial roller coaster, which a lot of people don't like. I don't like roller coasters, so. But if you like your ride to be wow, then definitely roller coaster it is. But then there are index products that allows you to have the benefit of the market, the growth potential of the market, without the downside. And I think a lot of families just are not aware that there are index products out there that you don't have to worry about participating in the downside of the market and still have the protection of your principal to grow.
So you mean if the market goes down, my investments don't follow that downturn?
Absolutely. So we talk about when in an index products, it has a floor. You're guaranteed either 0% or 1.5%, or a few companies that I'm thinking about. So that floor keeps you from going investing or participating in that down market. And then when the stock market goes up or the market goes back up, then you have that growth potential again.
What are some of the common names for those investment platforms?
If you're looking for guaranteed income for life, then we're looking at an annuity. If you're looking for cash accumulation, in a life insurance policy, then it's an index universal life. It gives you it gives you protection, it gives you growth, it gives you safety, and then it allows you to have a tax advantage where you don't have to pay taxes on the money that is accumulated inside of that in universal life policy.
It sounds like no matter what you're doing or who you are, it behooves you to sit down with a financial professional and analyze your future for your family, for yourself, for your comfortability, your quality of life. If you don't set that value for yourself, no one is going to do it for you. So get with a financial professional. Only about 1% to 2% of Americans have a savings that can protect them, and it's not in any area that is doing them benefit. It's usually just sitting in a savings account. I've talked to so many people that believe that these other methods, 401k, property, savings account, real estate investments, these sole investment platforms are going to be how they retire. We have to think more dynamically on that for ourselves, for our family, for the world. We have to make change. Get with a financial professional. If you'd like to sit down and talk with Cecilia, I will leave all her contact information below. Please reach out to her or one of the people on her team. And as always, thanks for watching and subscribe.